Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK Journey video. In this video we're going to be talking about the twins Elijah and Lila and are they a must pull or not. Okay, so the twins now have been out for 8 days, which means we've tried them in every single Dream Realm boss. We're in pre-end list of the Dream Realm bosses right now, so keep that in mind. But they have been a part of the top team formation in every single one of the 8 bosses. I'll show you guys the team formations of all of the top teams. But that is already something really kind of going in their favor and making it feel like if you don't have them, you're going to be missing out on your ranking for pre-endless bosses. Now the thing people are a bit worried about is will this translate and carry over to endless bosses? And in my opinion, when the twins first came out, I talked about this and I thought I wasn't sure if they were going to be good for pre-endless, but I was pretty sure at that point they would be good for endless because all of the haste buff value gets so much value onto HP per second damage dealers like Freyasto, like Ludovic. If we just take a look at the skills of Freyasto and Ludovic, you're gonna see what I mean. So the HP per second damage from Freyasto comes from his Vicious Sting ability, and this is on an 11-second cooldown. But haste is gonna reduce the cooldown of this ability, and so the more haste, the more HP per second damage, and it can stack onto the boss. So like if you already thought Freyasto was hitting hard before the twins existed in endless bosses, the twins are gonna take it onto another level. The other thing is that when we look at Ludovic, who was also a key damage dealer in a couple endless bosses last season, his skill is also going to be on a cooldown. Sorry, not this one. Life Weaver's Blooms. This is on an 8-second cooldown to active, and that is going to deal HP per second onto the opponent. And if you can get this down with more haste onto your allies, it's going to become even crazier. So really, honestly speaking, the twins synergize really well, better than any other support with the endless damage dealers as well. Then the other endless damage dealer, which could potentially make a comeback, is Talene, because there are a couple bosses this season, namely Thalassa, which like melee heroes cannot target, so like Freyasto won't work, Harak won't work. Ludovic probably would work, but Talene is doing well there. And also Crystal Beetle with all of that energy generation and boosted damage output of magic damage dealers. Talene is going to be good at that as well. And really the twins synergize so well with Talene. They buff up Talene. Let me just take a look at the twins. You have the massive energy recovery, which this 15% energy recovery refund after casting ultimate is for every single ally, not only the Stellar Bond linked allies. So for example, if you have a team of Elijah and Lila linked to Talene, as soon as Talene and the twins have casted their ultimate one time, now every time any ally on the field casts their ultimate, they get a huge energy refund of 15%, basically 150 of their energy back, which is crazy. Huge haste amount onto all of your allies. The shielding doesn't really matter, and then you have this one, which also provides a big attack buff onto the linked ally, up to 20% at one ally linked, which is huge. So not only, like, they also are the highest form of attack buff for a single target, or even 2 targets if you have 2 linked in the Stellar Bond. The only time, like for example, Mikola or Smokey provide a bigger attack buff than Elijah and Lila is if you have this skill power from Charms, and if you're like linking practically 3 allies together. Even then it's kind of tied. So that is the thing about the twins. Honestly speaking, I can say pretty confidently right now, there's a 99% chance that the twins are going to be just as dominant in endless as they are in pre-endless. I can't say for sure, of course, there's always that 1% chance that we can't predict how things are going to happen, but I really think the twins are going to be, they are the most powerful and most potent support in the game right now. For Dream Realm, there's no question about it, and we've seen their performance also in Guild Supremacy. If we take a look at the top Guild Supremacy teams, they're also going to be like, right now they're 2 top teams competing for the top ranking. There needs to be more testing done, but this one is the twins run come up with by Rickettsia, the twins with Sinbad. This is one of the most powerful teams right now. I got 9 billion score for me today, and someone got a 10 billion score with this twins version with a twins comp with Cassidy, but it had like a fully invested Cassidy, so I don't know if this is always going to be runnable for most people. But either way, the twins are also dominating in Glyph Shade boss. Apart from that, what other modes do we have? We have AFK Stages. So for AFK Stages, if you take a look at any of the recommended formations, like let's take a look in the talent trials here, you have the twins on page 1, twins on page 2, twins on page 3. In different comps, we have a Mauler comp, we have a Wilder comp, all are using the twins because of the massive energy refund. Like the energy refund after casting ultimate one time and enhancing the ability of the Mythic Plus of the twins provides so much value for a long drawn out fight. And AFK stages are long fights, usually taking up almost the whole duration. Same with Dream Realm, you have a 90-second duration, so the energy refund value is basically at its maximum, because you have the whole fight to keep getting these energy refunds from casting your ultimates. Also, she does well with heroes who need to cast their ultimate a lot, and I'm sure in the future, if they're more like impactful ultimates that come out, the energy generation from the twins as well as a massive energy refund is going to be really valuable. Now, there is some anti-synergy between Harak and the twins. So, like, for Dream Realm, if there's a team involving Harak, I don't know. Maybe the twins might not be the best option because they're going to die pretty quickly. However, the thing is, even when the twins die, they still provide their stellar bond value remains. So, there was attack buff and that they provide at the beginning of the match. That remains onto the ally, even after the twins go down. But then they're not getting the energy refund. They're not getting the haste buff onto your allies. So, that is limited. However, I'm really only expecting Harak to be good in Plague Creeper for the endless bosses. Harak is kind of falling off because he's really good in summon mechanic bosses, but two of his best bosses, Skyclops and Necrojaken, have been removed, and they've put in Thalassa, they put in like the cat lady, who like Lucia, which is also going to be difficult for Harak because he keeps getting turned into a cat. So like Harak is not going to have a good time this season. Honestly, he has fallen off. But the twins are looking amazing. Honestly, I feel like every account is going to want to have the twins, just like they want to have Freyasto. Like, the two must-have heroes of Celestial Hypergeum right now, in my opinion, are Freyasto and then the twins. I still probably think go for Freyasto first, but who even knows? Maybe they're going to be some endless comps not using Freyasto, because I honestly don't even know if I can recommend Freyasto for, but it will depend. We have to do endless testing before I can say the priority between twins versus Freyasto. All I know right now is you want both of them. Those are the two big Celestial Hypergean heroes. If you can afford Rainier to Mythic Plus, that's like a luxury, and he's only really good for pre-endless. Once we get to endless, I'm sure Rainier is going to be phased out because his damage amplification is not going to benefit HP per second damage at all. So that is the thing. Now, as for PvP, I think PvP is the one game mode where the twins are actually balanced. I'm not a big fan of the twins in PvP, to be honest, because they have survival issues. Even though they have 50% boosted HP, there's two bodies on the field, and any AoE damage basically is going to deal 200% damage to them, because both of them are receiving that damage. Also, one of them is in melee form, and melee supports always have a bad time because they can get focused and targeted. So I feel like in regular arena, the twins just have survival issues. You can kill them before they can cast their ultimate. You can use Lily May to interrupt their ultimate because they begin with the pre-fill energy. And they just have survival issues. They don't have any invincibility. They don't have basically survival mechanisms. And that is the issue in regular arena. If you take a look at like my regular arena team here, these are in my opinion the top regular arena heroes. Because when you have a team like this, no one is easy to kill. Lily May is untargetable, Fresters are incredibly tanky, especially on the same road. Taylene keeps reviving herself, Damien keeps respawning himself. There's the jump, Nightfall shift from the Bonnie, and even if Bonnie dies, she has the debuffs on your team, so good luck with that. So like, these are the heroes which dominate regular arena. I think for Supreme Arena, definitely twins can have a place. For example, like, there are people running some comps effectively. I can just field one for you right now, like a Dunlinger twins comp. But again, I feel like, I don't know how, just, they remind me of Harak for PvP. Meaning that, like, Harak had survival issues. Once he gets going and gets ultimating, he's pretty much unstoppable. But the twins are kind of the same. Because PvP is more of a short 15 to 20 second match. So the twins don't get the time to get all of their value, all of the energy refunds, all of the haste buff. Sometimes they can't even get their ultimate before dying. But let's just go ahead and field the team formation that I can show you guys. So like, let's say we wanted to run Dunlinger Diurnal. So we have Dunlinger here, Diurnal. And if you go for this comp, you should have the twins on the back tile. So you're going to have the twins on the back tile so that they're going to be bonded basically, or like not bonded, but they're going to be allowed to cast their ultimate. They're going to be the furthest away ally from Dunlinger, and just make sure to have Elijah in the back, because Elijah is the one who needs to cast the ultimate, and Lila can be in the front. So you could go for a team like this. Yeah, like, I mean, this would be pretty good. And then you have, okay, so you have all the Celestial, like you have the Celestial Hypergeum faction talent enabled. The twins are going to begin with that initial energy, which is nice. And now you just have two supports along here. For example, you could go for Damien. It just depends which Paragon supports you have the most upgraded. You could go for Damien and Smokey, for example. Or you could go for Lyca and Smokey is really optimal, but the thing is, like, for me, if I was going to run this team, I would run a team like this, because you need to have as many Paragon upgraded heroes as possible, but this would be crazy. Basically, like, Diurnal is going to be massively buffed from all of these sources. And then you have the twins on the back tile, and they're probably going to be able to get off their ultimate. And you could even go for the overcharge spell for even more value to like increase the chance that they can get their ultimate off. It can still be countered by a Lily May, but basically there are good team comps with the twins in Supreme Arena. For regular arena, personally, from my experience so far, I don't think they're that dominant, but like a hero can be good in every single area of the game. That's kind of Fresto though. Fresto is a hero which is like, he's really the MVP, but twins are like a close second, and we'll have to wait and see for Endless, but I suspect that the twins are just going to be the best ally and friend to Fresto, and they're just going to power Fresto further. I don't think they're going to make Fresto replaceable. Most likely not. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video on the twins. So overall, if you didn't get it already, basically my opinion on the twins is they are a must pull. You can even begin going for them right now. If you get one copy of them, even it can help you in Dura trials. For some AFK stages, it can help, and even for some Dream Realm comps, it can work as long as they can survive. But if you want their maximum effect, you will want them Supreme Plus. The Supreme Plus ability is really impactful. That is going to increase the basically buffs that they provide to their allies by quite a good amount. 15% basically bonus stats onto the linked allies is a huge deal. But definitely Mythic Plus is a big breakpoint for like Dream Realm. If you get them to Mythic Plus, they'll begin giving that energy refund. Mythic Plus, you'll want to get eventually plus 15, but even if you can't get that, even if you have plus 10 Mythic Plus, yeah, they're gonna do pretty well. But like if you get them Supreme Plus 15, that is another breakpoint, and then finally Supreme Plus. Eventually everyone will want to get them to Supreme Plus to maximize your team, and they're so good. Like, I mean, they really are amazing heroes, amazing hero. And I think for this season, I think they're the must-have. Like, usually each season there's one hero which rises above all of the rest. I think the twins are it for this season. Obviously, we don't know for sure. We've only seen Cryonea's kit. We don't know the third Celestial Hypogene to be revealed. But I'm making my guess right now that these are going to be the must pulls. And yeah, so I think you don't have to hold back. You can go all in on the twins and begin working on them. If you want to be super optimal and you want to be patient, then you can just save until you have enough to immediately take them to Supreme Plus, like enough currency, guild coins, and stellar crystals. Then you go all in at that time when we have more information. That is the overall smartest thing to do, and like, you cannot go wrong by doing that. But if you want to have some fun and just begin going for the twins, I think it will not backfire. I think everyone is going to eventually want the twins on their account, no matter what even the third Celestial Hypogene is released. I don't see how the twins are ever going to be power cup anytime soon. So like, I think you can go for the twins, and yeah. So anyway, guys, that is basically my opinion on it. You guys can share your own thoughts in the comment section, and all of your experience with them or without them, and your thoughts about endless bosses, how they're gonna do. Feel free to share that. And if you guys want to join my AFK Journey Discord server to chat with me more, there's a link to that in the description of this video. We have over 2,100 members, and I respond frequently there as well. But thanks for watching, guys. That is gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until the next one, everyone, peace out for now.